But here's the thing about boundaries. That word doesn't always feel so neutral. It feels reactionary. It feels hard. It feels like it's coming based upon a trigger or a deficit or a reaction to something that didn't feel good. And therefore, we have to draw these boundaries, and people need to know what we're available for and what we're not, in a very hardened, somewhat defensive way. Well, hello, my beautiful spiritual hustlers. Welcome back to the Spiritual Hustler podcast in 2025. If you're listening to this for the first time, welcome. Welcome to the podcast. I am your host, Jessica, and I am so grateful you're here. If you are not new, welcome back. You know the drill. You know what we talk about here on the show. We talk about all things being a badass, how to build a business, how to make moves, how to be a queen in the new earth paradigm, in your feminine power, as a feminine conscious leader, tapping into your codes. That's why we call it the spiritual hustler, because we reclaimed the word hustler. We uncanceled it. We have now anointed that word as a positive, as a beautiful, brilliant thing to be, as a necessary thing to be, but also doing it differently, doing it in a feminine way that is deeply of service, that is deeply trusting, that is deeply connected to a higher mission, that isn't the old paradigm of greed and what's mine is mine, but let's create a business that is here for all of us, and to do it from a place of sheer worthiness and receptivity and allowance and surrender. That what we are calling in is, one, already done. It's already here. And two, so much bigger, brighter, better, more abundant than we can even imagine. To rewire our bodies out of survival and wanting to make money from a place of fear and scarcity, but a place of true limitlessness. You know, I talk a lot about the Pleiadians in my book, The Light Work, that I launched in 24. I work with the Pleiadians. I talk about aliens all the time on social media, and take it or leave it. But what the Pleiadians have shown me more than anything is that real truth, that we are limitless. There is no boundary to what we can accomplish, that we are quantum co-creators that just so happen to be in this 3D dimension, but we are available to all dimensions, all the realms. And we've just been so conditioned to forget that, literally in our biology. Our third eye right here that sits in between our two eyes, our eyebrows, our pineal gland used to be as big as our regular two eyes, and we could time travel, and we could communicate telepathically. We could live in many places at once, and we can't anymore. Well, at least we believe we can't. And so we've been limited in literally how we see our lives and therefore the world. It is 2025, and the evolution of humanity has sped up, and we are awakening and remembering our power. And so I've got so much in store for you in 25. I've got so many incredible things that the Jay-Z world is rolling out. And if you are interested in empowering yourself right now for free, literally as we speak, you can sign up for my brand new CEO Feminine Flow experience. It's another free experience, 5 stages I take you through on how to unlock your identity, shift your focus, manage your structured time, draw sacred lines, which we're going to talk about today, and a whole new framework on how to get out of your business and on your business, which will change your life, and so much more. And so stay tuned to the podcast week to week to find out, to be the first to know, to understand how you can remember your feminine power and infuse it into your business this year unlike ever before, so that you can not only build a business that really makes you way more money than you even know possible, because that is your birthright, to be in full trust and abundance, but to build it differently in a way that doesn't run and rule your life, but fuels your life, that allows you to enjoy your life, to fly for the freedom, the peace, the joy that I think we all signed up to become entrepreneurs to begin with for. And the podcast is the place to be. And also want to say that if you haven't yet left a review on the podcast, I'm going to ask you not only to go ahead and do that right now, just go ahead and leave that 5-star review on Apple, but don't stop there. I want you to screenshot it and send it to me over on DM. And I'm giving away a whole nother series of my light worker trucker hats that are this beautiful taupe color. They have this gorgeous white stitching on them. Everyone's asking me, how do I get a hat? I get so many requests for the Spiritual Hustler swag, for the light worker swag. We're going to set up a shop this year. It's a goal of mine. I really want to create a shop where you can come and buy all the things and rock them in the world and represent what it means to be a spiritual hustler and a light worker. That shop isn't established yet. So in the meantime, I'm just going to give it to you guys. I'm going to give it away for free. So don't miss out on this. All you've got to do, it's super simple, and how to win for free a light worker hat is to go to Apple specifically, leave 5 stars, screenshot that review, send it over to me on Instagram DM, and I will reply and say you won, and I need your address so that we can send you a hat. So we're going to get back into the game of showering you all with some light worker swag this year in 2025. It's all about generosity and reciprocity, as you guys know over here. Speaking of words that we've either reclaimed, renamed, uncanceled, redefined, we did that at the very beginning of the year last year when we launched the podcast, and I came out very boldly and said, hustling is uncanceled. We are reclaiming that word. We're starting 2025 by redefining a very big word that is often thrown around in our space of spiritual development and personal growth and healing, and that's the word boundaries. And I love that word in many ways, and I also don't agree with it in many ways. I feel like it has a negative charge. I'm just going to say why. And, as I was mentioning earlier on the show just now, that we're here to build these limitless, beautiful lives, not just businesses, but lives on this planet as spiritual beings having this human experience. And our capacity to go wide, and I'm going to use this term often, wetter and wider instead of higher and harder as feminine beings on this planet, requires us to take care of ourselves, requires us to have structured measures around our containers so that we can create what I love, this one of my favorite words of all time, which is sovereignty, to know what's ours is ours and what's not is not, and to be absolutely beautifully clear and frankly neutral on that fact. But here's the thing about boundaries. That word doesn't always feel so neutral. It feels reactionary. It feels hard. It feels like it's coming based upon a trigger or a deficit or a reaction to something that didn't feel good. And therefore, we have to draw these boundaries, and people need to know what we're available for and what we're not, in a very hardened, somewhat defensive way. And we need boundaries in the truest sense of the term to be these spiritual hustlers, to build businesses that fuel our lives, not run our lives. We need boundaries to make sure that our health, mental, physical, spiritual well-being is in place. We need the boundaries to ensure that our families and friends and the people that really matter to us get our energy as much as our communities on the internet and our teams and our clients. But we have an opportunity to shift the vibration. And when we do, it serves us so much. And I really love the term sacred lines instead. You know, my dog just died the last couple days as I'm recording this. And I'm hoping by the time that this podcast comes out, I'll be in a little less grief. But when he passed, I canceled pretty much everything. I had podcast interviews scheduled. I had events I was supposed to go to show up for and friends and network. I was supposed to go out to Soho House and coffee date and meetings with people I had had on the books for months. Canceled everything. And the vibration of that didn't feel reactionary in the sense that I was putting up these boundaries because I had to take care of myself. Me making those decisions felt incredibly sacred. Like, no, I am going to wrap myself in a crystal bubble of gentleness and love and tenderness so that I can go into what's here right now, so that I can go into what truly matters, and I can go into truly what Jessica needs. And this experience of taking this time to really have space for myself to draw these sacred lines felt so honoring of not just my dog, but of me. And I share this story as a metaphor and frankly, a permission that we don't need to have something tragic like that in our lives to happen for us to have the sovereignty to say no, to draw the sacred lines. It's a different vibration than boundary, which is quite frankly a masculine vibration, versus a sacred line, which feels like a feminine vibration. As you know, if you've been here for a minute, you know that I launched this show and rebranded this show, The Spiritual Hustler, as a response to my darkest night of the soul, when it came to my career at least, which was my burnout. And we're all coming through this new portal of energy with 2025. And for most of us, we're all familiar with that feeling as well of burnout. And the more we approach the thing that broke us with the same vibration of the thing that broke us, the more we perpetuate that energy. So this is an invitation in 2025 for us to walk our walk, to be embodied, to put in the structures and the measures and yes, the boundaries that are needed for us to scale and thrive, but to do it in a way that truly serves us, that serves the end aim of what we're restructuring our lives and businesses for in the first place, which is a whole lot more gentleness, presence, unapologetic space, but not in a way that feels defiant, but that feels very honoring of where we are and what we need in that exact moment. And that doesn't require a boundary. that simply requires a line. And you get to make it sacred. All right, my beautiful friends, I just can't wait for all of this to unfold. This is going to be a beautiful year. I feel so ready for this energy. And I'm excited that you're here to go along the ride with me, because I'm here to go along the ride with you. And let's go hustle. The spiritual hustle. I'll see you guys soon.